that one, I ended it terribly. But we're not doing a recut
Nobody
of
would
it.
even know.
No, Danielle's face was, she would look at it like, hey, everybody, happy Wednesday.
Hey, everyone.
Hi.
Happy Back to the Future Day.
Oh, God. We need to announce before everybody hears her name.
Well, they already heard her name.
They already heard her name. Is Danielle, my good friend Danielle Mignogna, is on the podcast with us. Hello,
Hi.
Danielle.
So,
Thank you
Danielle,
for the warm welcome.
we were trying to figure out, when you walked out of the room, I started talking about you.
Nice.
I was asking Jake, what would you be to him since your sister is his sister-in-law? So I guess you're his sister-in-law as well? That's
So
what I
wait,
thought.
before we get into that, I don't think we've ever said this, but my sister is engaged to Danielle's sister. Let's give people like 5 seconds to process what that means.
Yes, that's what you think it means.
Yep, a sister. My sister is a female who's engaged to Danielle's sister, who's another female. Okay, everybody can process that now. But so that would make us. That would make you my sibling-in-law. You're my sister-in-law.
Sure,
I'd be
yeah.
your brother-in-law.
We're family.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, Danielle was really like the first person I met when I moved to Florida.
Really?
Yeah, the absolute 100%. Well, not the 100% first person, but like my first like true friend.
Aw.
Yeah, and so we always tell Hillary and Lauren, and that's their names.
If you guys ever break up, we're still being friends.
well, no, we always just tell them
We
that
really
it's
say, you're welcome.
yeah, it's
That's what I
us.
say to them.
It's we're the ones that did that. So.
Wait, so you guys knew each other before they knew each other?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Wow, that you guys really should be.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
When Lauren
So are
and
you
Hillary
guys
told
the
me.
guests of honor then pretty much at the wedding?
pretty
Wouldn't have
much.
happened.
I'm the
I
best
know.
man.
Yes, you are.
I am the best man.
I'm the maid of honor.
Of course you are. Well, there you go.
Um,
Judaism, we would say you guys performed a mitzvah.
Oh, yeah. Good deed.
do they can females marry females in Judaism?
Yeah.
In my code, you can, absolutely.
So we have Danielle Mignogna on the podcast with us. She's in town from Los Angeles, the city of angels. Yeah, that's what they call it, huh?
That's what they call it.
And so Danielle flew in on Saturday, and she's a big fan of the show, and she wanted to kind of come in here and let her voice be heard.
See what you guys are doing.
That's right. So a lot of things coming up. I'm going to hit these two pretty hard with a couple questions. But first and foremost, we are going to be giving away something really cool.
Yeah, we're back to our really super special giveaway.
Danielle, tell them what they want. Tell them what one lucky person's going to win.
You are going to win a Vitamix.
Yeah. So we're
The Vitamix, when we did this giveaway one time before, was our biggest amount of entries. And we've given away a lot of really cool things, but people go crazy for the Vitamix.
So I can't enter.
No,
No,
I've
I
already
can't
tried
win.
making up fake emails. I know.
No. So we're going to give away a Vitamix, and
My boyfriend says the same thing every week. We've given away like Yeti coolers. He's like, "Come on, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
I want to win one." I'm like, "We can't."
yeah,
It's
so
unethical.
the Vitamix, we talk about the Ninja a lot, and the Ninja is the worst thing ever known to man, the worst invention ever. And so
Not when you watch it on QVC. It's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
it's
I love
terrible.
it. I have one.
I love infomercials.
I'll just sit here. You two can gab about infomercials. Funny enough, do you know what Megan does?
I actually do because I listen to the podcast.
Yeah,
Shit.
so I work
You
on
sell watches?
Yeah, I work on a home shopping show.
Watches specifically.
Specifically watches,
Yeah.
all different kinds of watches. So you would love me, actually,
Yeah.
professionally, too.
So if any of you are watching QVC late on Saturday or Sunday night, you might see Megan.
That's right.
Now a lot of people
Amazing.
will be Googling you.
Oh, yes.
Like Google.
So we will be giving away a Vitamix. Listen in about, I'm not even telling you how many
Yeah, don't
minutes.
tell them.
But
We'll tell you in the middle of the show.
We're going to tell you how to do it, how you can actually win. But how this actually came up was that before we started getting ready for the podcast is I wanted to make a smoothie. And so I put a smoothie together. I did, some strawberries, raspberries, blueberries, etc. I put in my athletic greens powder, a little bit of yogurt.
You're using that athletic greens powder?
Yeah, I use it all the time.
Oh, well, thank you for always giving me all those bags
I
of
have
it.
a
I
lot
thought
of
you just
bags.
didn't like it.
No, I love it.
Oh, I love it,
I use
too.
it at least twice a day. And if you're not using it,
No, I'm using all of it. I'm not giving it back. I thought you were saying to me.
I was
if I'm
talking to
not
the
using
people.
it. I'm really very narcissistic. I'm sorry.
But if you would like to learn more about athletic greens, you can go to athleticgreens.com. But so I added athletic greens to it, and then I told Danielle we're going to do some raw egg, and she was completely against it. She didn't want to actually put raw egg into it. And so we put raw eggs into it and blended it up, and she did a little Snapchat. That's what the kids are doing these days. And so she did
It's so LA.
a Snapchat and blended it up, and how did it taste?
It was delicious.
Was
Yeah.
it really?
Yeah, I mean, the egg whites added a nice frothiness mix to it, and the berries were of course delicious. And then I didn't even
Do you
taste
eat
everything
smoothies
else.
in Los Angeles?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's like smoothie and juice places on every corner in Los Angeles.
When was the last time you had a smoothie?
Probably last week.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Because I didn't know if you were just going to get up, grab your bum cheeks, and run out. Because
Nope. Yeah.
All right.
Got a tolerance built up.
Got tolerance. So that brought us to, we're going to be giving away the free Vitamix.
So don't be afraid of the raw egg is what you're saying.
Don't be afraid of the raw egg. There's definitely benefits to it. I use it as a source of protein. And if you don't have time to like hard boil them, which I have kind of a little recipe that I do that takes about 30 minutes. And if you don't have time to just cook it up real quick, I just eat it raw. But I get a good source of eggs in my body.
You like crack it in your mouth?
I bite it and just, funny enough.
He just puts them all in a glass like a bodybuilder. He makes sure to wear his
Like
muscle
Rocky.
shirt when he does it.
Gold's Gym. But funny enough, I actually haven't brought his name up in a while, but Dr. Josh, our favorite doctor,
Oh, yeah.
he just, he's going to build a chicken pen.
Really?
He lives in the suburbs in
got
Connecticut.
A lot of land, yeah.
No, he doesn't have a lot of land. It's not like he lives in like in a ranch or anything.
Oh,
he lives
really?
just like in a regular neighborhood. And he's going to build a pen and he's going to get chickens. And so he's going to get 12 chickens. Each chicken produces roughly, he said, like one egg every 2 days or whatever it is. And so...
Wow, I thought it would be so much more than that.
Well, they don't lay like a bunch of them.
I
It's
thought
not
like it's like when you see it in the movies where it's like just eggs are just coming out of chickens like over and over
No, it's
again.
just like one and they sit on it. And so he's going to do it. And he said roughly, and I think it's either 12 or 16 however they're beginning. He said, we'll get basically like a dozen a day, which is a lot.
Wow.
Of
That's a
eggs.
lot of eggs.
And so I asked him, I was like, do you have to clean them? Like, do you actually have to like wash up all the goop? If he's like, there's no goop or anything. He's like, if they're warm, he was like, but we can literally take them from right beneath them and just crack it in there and eat it.
And does it taste different?
He says it tastes better.
I've seen photos. I've never actually tried it, but I've seen like photos where they'll compare a store-bought egg to like a farmer's market egg or a fresh hatched egg, if you will, or I guess it's not a hatched egg, a fresh laid egg. And a lot of times the yolks are a lot more orange than
it is true.
than the yellow.
That is true.
Yeah.
Have you ever had, Danielle, like a crazy type of egg, like an ostrich egg or a whale egg? Not a whale egg,
so.
quail.
I like quail eggs. They're
A whale egg.
delicious.
I've had eggs in New Zealand though, and I was surprised that they
Interesting.
didn't refrigerate them. They just keep them in.
Well, even though New
a
Zealand's not
cabinet.
Europe, but yeah, even in Europe, they don't actually refrigerate
Yeah.
them. You don't have to.
Yeah.
We do it here, but you don't have
Unnecessary.
I'm more comfortable refrigerating my
Me
eggs.
too.
I'm still like not quite sold on the fact that butter can be left out at room temperature.
to. Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah, I know that. Just,
Well, that's the
it
worst thing
doesn't
ever.
seem
You know what
right,
the worst thing
though.
ever is cold butter. Like if
Well,
you're
'cause you
doing
can't
toast,
spread it.
it sucks. it's like really that bad. But there's only one thing that cold butter is good for: corn on the cob.
Oh yeah, because you can just like put
You
it all
roll
over.
it. Wait, do you knife
no.
it on?
Well, I was thinking
people
like I
have
would just
different
hold a
ways.
stick of butter and just like rub it on the corn.
Oh, is that how you do yours?
I haven't eaten corn in so long. I wouldn't know.
How I did it growing up was you take a piece of white bread, you put some like
Oh, you put the
you
butter
put
on
the butter
that.
on the bread, and then you butter the
Oh, I like
the corn
this.
that way, and then you get this yummy melted.
God bless
butter on the
America.
bread.
I never thought about doing butter like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you don't ruin your thing of butter.
Oh yeah.
We've always just done like the corn like pins and then just like rolled it up and down. But then you're like, because nobody eats all the butter, then you're left with like, corn imprinted butter.
Well, that's
corn
why
hair.
she's saying you would use the slice of white bread.
Yeah. Interesting. So you
Remember,
got-
this is an alternative show.
I
so
know.
We're trying to be healthy here, Danielle. Keep that down.
We actually
Yeah.
used Ezekiel bread. Is that
yeah.
okay?
yeah, it's very good. Yeah.
Growing up, we used Ezekiel bread. Yeah. Interesting. I did not know that. And did you boil your corn? Or how did you do your corn?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Just that wraps up the corn game.
So this is the most random podcast ever, as you'll see. We always make a lineup of things, and then we talk about
and
corn.
it was organic, non-GMO corn when you're growing
Of
up.
course.
Absolutely. But the other smoothie that I actually tried too yesterday, so I was listening to a podcast that had Laird Hamilton on it. Do everybody know who Laird Hamilton is?
It sounds familiar.
Surfer?
Laird Hamilton, he's known for making big wave surfing like extremely popular. He was
cool.
the one who kind of brought it to fame. Like
There's a
surfing
really
like,
cool documentary of him surfing like one of the most
Yep.
giant
It's called-
waves in
the
history.
name was called the name of the documentary was called Riding Giants.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah, it's called Riding Giants.
Oh,
Absolutely awesome. He surfed. It was a wave in Tahiti
that was it.
called Chopu, and it's a wave that I don't want to say he was the first one to surf it. He's the first one to bring it to mainstream. But I mean, it's a wave that is just absolutely monstrous.
It's like a building.
Yeah. And if you're ever interested in just Googling that, it's actually spelled Tateauhpoo, I think, or something like that. Anyways, just
Don't worry, Google will correct it for
it's
you.
in Tahiti. In Tahiti, just do Tahiti surf, and it's the one that comes up. But it's a big wave. So, anyways, I was listening to his podcast, and he was saying how he does an energy drink, like in the afternoons or whenever it is, and so it's turmeric root. He juices that, liquid pepper extract, apple cider vinegar, honey, and water. So I was like, I think I have some of that stuff in the fridge or in the cabinet. So I actually did. So I didn't have like the liquid pepper extract with like the drops or anything. So I actually took like turmeric powder, and I don't measure things out. I just bah, 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 bah. It's not baking. So I just kind of just bah, 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 bah. And then cayenne pepper, and it was probably maybe 2 teaspoons of cayenne pepper. That stuff can
That's
get,
a lot
yeah, it
of
is.
cayenne pepper.
It is, but I'm a horse.
Yeah,
I
you
can
can
do it.
handle
I'm
it.
a man. I'm a man.
Yes,
And then
you are.
big old squirt of honey, and then just apple cider vinegar. These are all
ACV.
Yeah, these are all scientific names of measurements. So I did a of apple cider vinegar, and then about 18 ounces of water, and you shake it up. And actually, I didn't shake it up. I put it in the blender because I wanted all of that stuff to blend together, and then drink it. And it was 3 things. It was sweet, tangy, and spicy. And like, you're not going to sit there and like kind of like casually sip that.
No, you're going to like drink that.
But you want to be careful because you can't also just chug it either, because that's a lot of peppery stuff. But I will say, like for like the hour or two after that, I mean, it was like body heat was risen. I was just definitely just like I wanted to do something. Like, I wanted to either not like break something, but I definitely wanted to kind of like, I wanted to create something.
And would you do it
so
again?
I was going to say, what did you end up doing?
I didn't create anything after that. But I absolutely, I'll do it again. I'll probably do this afternoon.
Cool.
But it's not something I can actually like. I can't travel with like turmeric root and stuff like that, so I won't do that. But yeah, it's really good. So I would definitely try that. It's a good anti-inflammatory drink too, because definitely turmeric. But here's what people don't know is that to get the true use of turmeric, but actually more so the main nutrient in there, which is curcumin, to get the true benefits of that, you actually have to combine it with pepper. So a lot of people think they just eat it and whatever and it's fine. You actually have to combine it with pepper. Yeah. So when you're cooking and because Danielle is an awesome cook.
Yeah.
Thank you.
When you're cooking and you're using turmeric, make sure you use pepper, because then you're actually benefiting people.
That's so
you're
weird.
serving.
And
Yeah.
interesting to know.
Yeah. So that's the drink that I made. It was absolutely phenomenal.
And it's pretty much pantry staples.
Oh,
Not
yeah,
like you
I
have to
had
go out and
everything
get
in my
anything
pantry. Yeah.
Crazy.
I might try and juice the turmeric root. I've never tried that, so I might try and grab some.
It's so intimidating. Have you ever seen a turmeric root at the grocery store?
Yeah, why?
So scary.
Does it look
I
like
wouldn't even
ginger?
know what to
It
do
looks
with
like
it.
ginger, but orange inside.
Oh.
Yeah, but it's like bigger. It looks like a piece of a tree. It's like darker brown, not like a small. It's like, I don't know. It's very intimidating.
Oh. But
So you do it first.
yeah. But it's good. And I don't think it actually had like turmeric. It's got a taste, but it's not like a crazy spice where you're just like.
I sprinkle turmeric on eggs a lot.
Do you really?
When I was
Yeah,
out
you
in
do-
LA.
you do
But do you
pepper.
have to do it with pepper? Yeah.
I usually season my eggs with like
okay.
Himalayan sea salt and pepper. But when I was out in Los
ketchup.
Angeles visiting some friends one time in your hood, I went to this really good like healthy breakfast place, and they had I ordered eggs, and it had fresh
Bojangles.
yeah, that's right. It was actually Popeyes. And they had eggs with like fresh chopped tomatoes on top, but they had seasoned the eggs with turmeric and salt and pepper, of course, too. And I thought it was so good, and it doesn't taste weird or anything like that. And
Yeah.
so now I do it all the time.
Yeah. Danielle, Danielle's literally like chef style. She's
No.
you're very good.
I think I used to be maybe when I lived here and had like a big Florida kitchen to work in. But
Daniel, this was like there's like an annoying story about Danielle. I love her. Can I tell us one annoying story?
Well, you have to do it now.
And this is before I was like healthy eating and stuff like that. We went somewhere and we were going to make margaritas, and I think margarita mix and tequila. Well, Danielle
She's getting like all the ingredients.
had to make a simple syrup first.
Oh.
And then get all the fresh ingredients. Looking back on it, it's probably actually healthier than just kind
Yeah.
of using like the store-bought stuff. But I was like, let's just make margaritas. Screw it. And she had to make the simple syrup and get everything and the lime juice. So it was all right.
Yeah.
I guess my margarita mix when I think you tried it. It was this is before, like I haven't had this since then. Which was you do one of those cans of limeade, and those things are so bad for you.
Yeah.
Like there's like frozen cans of limeade. You do that. You put and then you do the equivalent amount of that in tequila and pour that in. And then you take a whole Corona and pour that in, and then you mix.
I think we're getting off track with what the subject of the show is supposed to be about.
Yeah.
But that sounds damn good.
It is good. Sorry, guys. Whatever.
Wait, if you blend a beer like that, though, wouldn't it like bubble over?
No, you don't have to blend it. You can just like stir it. And I just used a wooden spoon.
That reminds me, they also make those frozen mixes in like strawberry daiquiri and stuff.
Yeah, they're so bad.
The Minute Maid ones
they're
that
so
are
bad.
frozen, that reminds me of being young. I'm pretty
yeah.
sure I always used to see those in the freezer when I was a kid.
This is so bad. All right, so that's why we're giving away the Vitamix. And so we're going to give it away to some lucky winner, and we'll tell you how to get it in just a little bit. So the next thing, actually, Danielle had asked me today was, and it's something that Megan kind of alludes to all the time.
I love
which
this.
is that I only wear like one type of shirt. And it's funny because this shirt and this shirt, I mean by the couple that I have in there, this shirt is the one that I wear for dress up occasions. This shirt is the one that I wear for dress down occasions. I fish in this. I'll actually go surf in this if I want to block the sun. But then I'll go get dinner with Gina's dad in this shirt or go to, different occasions. When I gave my talk in, Colorado, I wore this shirt and jeans.
You didn't wear the blue one? I always equate your other one to
no,
be the
but
fancier
this shirt,
one.
I mean, and we'll get into that in a second. So there's one style of shirt that I wear, and there's nothing on it. It's got like just one tag in there. It's a very light fitted shirt. But the main reason we bring this up is I have 3 or 4 different versions of them. One's gray, one's like a grayish blue, and one is like a royal blue. And so there's like just 3 different shirts that I wear. And so Danielle was asking me. She asked, Mark Zuckerberg and Steve Jobs and all these other people that are way out of my league. All just, kind of wore the same thing. And so she asked me if that was the reason that I did it was because they did it. And that's not actually true, but I wanted to kind of see if you knew this. Like, when you were reading about it, did you figure out why they did it?
No.
Okay.
I'm assuming like for consistency and
okay.
just
Megan's going to pull it up real quick. But
sure.
So here's why I do it, and I actually have not read the article of why I do it, but everybody brings it up. Like it's just kind of like a constant joke around my family and friends. Like you just always wear the same blue shirt and everything. Well, it's a couple things. It's completely convenient, right? It's just like if you look in my closet, like I have this closet, and if you look at my closet like a pie chart, probably 2% of the closet is my stuff, and 98% is Gina's stuff. And so I probably have in this shirt I keep touching right here. I probably have 3 grays, 3 royal blues, and 3 like navy blues. So like 12 shirts, and I have like a couple other like button downs if I have to go to a funeral or something.
It's like Batman's closet.
Right. So it's the convenience of it. It's like I don't have to worry about what pattern does this have and matching up. I literally have 2 pairs of shorts, khakis and these gray ones, and the gray ones can be dubbed also as board shorts, so I can actually surf in them. And then I do have about like 5 or 6 pairs of board shorts. So anyways, so it's a convenience factor where I can literally walk in and I know that let me just grab one, and I rarely even just look at the color now. I just grab it and wear it. But it's also more so like when I'm talking with people too. Like I don't want them to kind of look at and see, oh, you have a Hurley shirt on, you have a Quicksilver shirt on, and everything like that. You're not getting my clothes, you're getting me. And so I kind of like want to take that off the table. It's not like even if I just really don't like dressing up. But even like if I have to go to an event where I meet somebody, and if they're like, I want to be comfortable, but I also like, you're here to talk to me. You're not here to look at my watch. You're not here to look at kind of my clothes and everything. You're going to get the real me. And so I do it for 1, convenience, 2, because you're just getting the real me. And even more so, number 3 too is, growing up, wearing we also like American Eagle, Starter, and all these different Abercrombie. And so you're just basically like a billboard for some of these companies. And, as I've kind of started my company, but as I've started to grow, I don't want to be billboards for these other companies too. It's cool. Other people do it. It's fine. It's works for them. I just didn't want to be a billboard. By going out and saying that, I am aligning myself with Hurley or Quicksilver or Rip Curl, I don't do that. Not to say that I don't have those as board shorts, and not to say I don't have those as hats and stuff like that. But I think a lot of people and I don't want to be sexist here, but a lot of women typically have more clothes than guys. But a lot of women, and even just a lot of guys, they put certain clothes on because they want to put off an aspect of who they are, when really that's not who they are. That's just kind of like a very material, very shallow point of who they are. And everybody has a really kind of deep, just think about this the other day. Everybody has a depth to them, and they just don't realize, and some of them don't realize it yet. And so it's just kind of whole like there's a deeper thing than just kind of like the shirt I'm wearing. So it's actually plus it's goddamn comfortable too. I mean, these things are really comfortable, and it's only like an $8 shirt, so I can buy like, you know, as I said, like 10 at a time and have them, and if they get holes or whatever, use them as rags and everything. So that's why I wear it. I've just never been like into fashion too.
Those are good reasons.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I mean, your reasoning is actually somewhat on par with Mark Zuckerberg. So the Business Insider wrote an article about it because Mark Zuckerberg did a Q&A recently. And one of the questions somebody actually asked him was, you know, why do you wear it? He actually, if you've seen photos of him, he wears the same gray. He wears a gray T-shirt like every single day. And he was sort of joking, but then his answer was serious. And he said, and this is a quote, I really want to clear my life to make it so I don't have to make a lot of decisions. I want to make as few decisions as possible, except how to best serve the community. He even said that small decisions like choosing what to wear or what to eat can be tiring and consume energy, and he didn't want to waste time on that. So I guess for him, and maybe even for you too, it's more the fact that he just wants to wake up in the morning, not have to worry about it. Because
there are bigger decisions to
I'm
make.
sure you know where you live, and as a woman myself, I know that sometimes I have gotten caught up, and I don't even care about the latest fashion, but I find that I've been caught up before about not knowing what to wear, not sure what I'm going to wear.
Changing 10 times.
Then not being sure about if I like it. And I think that I don't think it's sexist to say that it's more of a woman thing than a man thing, because I think that's true. And I think that even if you go into department stores, most floors are women apparel and accessories, and then men get like the one little corner. There was actually an article. I don't know if you guys ever saw this. It was, I think, about a year ago. There was a guy, I believe it was Australian, on a morning news show where for an entire year, a gentleman, the main newscaster, wore the same suit every single day for an entire year. And then
did he wash it or no?
Yeah, he would like dry clean it, but like he wore it every single day without fail. And at the end of the year, he did a segment on it to the audience, talking about the fact that not a single person wrote in and complained or said, we know you're wearing the same suit. And it was actually, he was doing that to prove a point, because
if a woman did
the
that.
Meteorologist on their news team was getting criticism a lot about how she dressed.
Oh my God.
And he said, I wore the same thing every single day. Not a single person ever even noticed. And yet you're giving crap to so-and-so for how she looks. And I think that society, I mean, imagine, like, we're talking about people like Steve Jobs and Mark Zuckerberg. President Obama is another guy, another person who talks about like he has a very streamlined wardrobe. But
he's
like,
got mom jeans.
He does wear mom jeans.
Big pelvic area.
But think about it. Well,
rim.
then they talk about like Michelle Obama, and they always talk about what she looks like or what she's wearing. Like Amal Clooney, you know, George Clooney's wife, who's a prolific human rights lawyer internationally, is like amazing and so brilliant. She's constantly in the news for what she wears. And it's like, who cares what kind of shoes she has? They're not talking about like these men and what shoes they have, but they'll always talk about them all. And I think part of that is because women's fashion, people are more interested in it. But yeah, I mean, it's a society thing. I mean, people would definitely take note if you, Danielle, wore the same thing every single day. But with Jake, it's almost like more permissible because, well, he's a guy. We just assume that he's not as interested in fashion and clothing. But like if I did it every day, people would probably say something or maybe think it was odd.
I agree with that because like, and I like that you went that way with it, which was, you know, saying it's society doesn't necessarily accept that for women.
No,
and you're right, because if you see a woman wearing the same thing like I am,
they talk about it.
And people talk about it
in magazines. You know, I think it's Us Weekly magazine. They'll actually show. They'll compare.
Do you buy that magazine?
I mean, I've bought it before. I've read it at a nail salon.
When was the last time you bought?
Oh,
one?
I mean, it's been years.
Okay.
But I mean, I'll read it if I'm at a salon and it's sitting there. I will. I can't always read the alternativedaily.com
with the curlers in, just
sitting
like,
under the dryer with my robe on, talking to the other little biddies at the salon. No. they will do a section in one of these. I think it's like People or Us Weekly, where it's called like Who Wore It Better. They'll do that on TV too, and they'll compare like a celebrity or two who are wearing the exact same thing. Maybe it's the same red dress or the same pants from a designer, and then you can go online. I have never done this, but you can go online and vote for which celebrity looks better.
Oh my God!
And so they'll make this mockery like, oh, Angelina Jolie got 73% of the public opinion versus,
I hate that.
you know, Catherine Zeta-Jones, and she only, you know, and it's like, who cares? I mean, do you know how many people probably have the same clothes that I have?
Well, I also think it's like also getting older too, even though we're still relatively young, but like after having a kid, like that straw hat that you see me wear like at the beach, I wouldn't have been caught. I wouldn't have been caught dead with that like in high school and stuff. It's a practical damn hat. It's a big
cool
straw hat, and
so awesome.
I actually like, it's not part of like my identity or anything, but it blocks the sun on my bald head and some of my shoulders. So if I'm in the water, I can just relax. So when I actually wore it because we were back in the Keys, 2 weeks ago, and everybody was making comments like, "Oh my God, what kind of hat is that? What is that hat?" And like, they're actually more predominant down here, I guess, than in Pennsylvania and Virginia, where like a lot of these people were from. But it was like, it's just really, I was like, I'm not doing it for style. It's just really just blocking the sun on my bald head.
It's functional.
I love it. But Danielle, you have a lot of clothes, or have you thrown them away?
I have a lot of clothes.
Yeah.
So have you thought about like downsizing?
Oh,
or
yeah. I would really love to do that.
How many pairs of shoes do you have?
Oh, shoes, I would wear like the same rainbow flip-flops every day.
Okay. How many shoes do you have?
I mean, I wear the same flip-flops every single day.
How many shoes do you have?
Maybe 15 pairs of shoes.
That's not bad.
No. I'm not really into,
Gotcha.
I mean, most of the time, thankfully, when I book jobs, I have a stylist.
Yeah.
I was just telling you before.
Excuse me.
Well, no, I mean, I'll tell you a funny story, Danielle. I just booked a job that I'm going to be going on in a few weeks, and I had to go yesterday to meet with them, and they asked me to bring some clothes for the job. They're like, okay, here's some things that we're looking for. Can you bring us some cocktail dresses? Can you bring this? We want to just see what you've got, and we'll work around it from there. And I have like no fashion sense, so I brought things that I think are super cute. Showed them all, had a fitting yesterday, tried them on. They took a bunch of photos. And then the producer of the job actually text messaged me last night at like 11 o'clock at night. And it was like, so we're going to need to have you come in for another fitting. We've decided to just hire a stylist for you.
Oh.
My God. I'm like,
but you're
awkward.
You're in an industry where you can't literally wear the same thing every single time.
No, but thank God.
That's what you should tell them.
Thank God they take pity on me, and they're like, we'll just get you stuff.
That's what you should tell them. You should tell them the story about the weatherman who wore every single thing.
Yeah.
The same thing every single day. No, and so it's funny. Earlier this week, I actually had to go. We toured a school for Noah that she might go to next year. And so
she's not starting college, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my God. And so we toured the school, and Gina said, she's like, Jake, you need to dress up. And I looked down, and I was like, Gina, and I had just like when I get up, I put my board shorts on and one of these blue shirts and maybe shoes. And so that's what I take to Noah to school with. And I was like, I'll just pop by afterwards. She's like, you need to dress up. I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, just so can you at least put on shorts? And so I actually thought to myself, I think I've actually made it in life. If dressing up for me is just having to put on, some shorts.
They've just given up on you.
That's cool too. That means I've definitely made it.
I actually saw Gina in the other room a couple weeks ago when she was looking to order you a blazer for something. And I made a joke. I was like, is that going to match his T-shirt? And she's like, we're going to have to.
Well, the funny thing is, so for our sister's wedding, I had to it's probably since like I was a little boy, I hate trying stuff on. Like, and that's probably also why I just buy like one shirt once I like it too. But like I always hated like coming home. My mom was like, "Okay, now try the shirt on," and I hated it. And so and this is terrible. It makes no sense. So anytime I'd get home, I would just rip the tags off because I got to keep it now. I just didn't like trying it on. Like if I'm putting it on, I'm keeping it on. I'm not trying the stuff on. So I with a suit, I had to try it, I hated it. And so like Hillary and Lauren were in there, and I was like, I really don't want to model this off or anything like that. Here's the funny thing is like the ones that I got, like the pants are like a little like higher, like they don't hang lower. And so, but they were all out of stock of the ones with longer, so mine actually come up a little bit higher. I guess you could call them high waters, but I was like, screw it, we're keeping these. They look fine. I'm gonna look good in shoes with these. Don't worry. So,
yeah, I saw a picture of you in it. You looked great.
Thank you. Thank you. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to start wearing that suit every day now.
Nice.
No shirt under, just like the blazer on top, like Don Johnson.
A little bit of hair peeking out.
So we want to tell you how to win your Vitamix right now.
That's right.
Woo-hoo.
This is so exciting.
So,
Yeah.
Danielle, tell us how they can win their Vitamix. She just looked at me and said, I don't know.
I will tell you how you can win your Vitamix, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be giving one Vitamix away. Very, very easy.
Like deer shot and headlights.
He did that to me on like one of the most, he asked me a question on a podcast recently and I was like, I don't know. Like I was shaking my head like, no. So ladies and gentlemen, if you want to win a Vitamix, you have to email us. Email podcast@thealternativedaily.com. Subject line is Vitamix. So that's podcast@thealternativedaily.com. Subject line Vitamix. In the email, please tell us two things. One, a health-related topic or a topic in general that you would like us to discuss on the podcast or you'd like to hear more about on our website. And two, how you will best use your new Vitamix. Are you going to make your own smoothies and juices? Are you going to make your own hummus with it or soups, whatever it is?
I've done that. Hummus is really good.
My girlfriend makes a lot of soups with hers. So let us know how you're going to use your Vitamix. So again, podcast@thealternativedaily.com. Subject line is Vitamix. And tell us, one, how you'll use the Vitamix and what topic you'd like to hear us discuss on a future podcast.
Awesome. And again, it doesn't have to be health related.
Yeah, it can be about anything, really.
A lot of people want us to tackle God.
I know. A lot of people
Like
want
literally. Yeah. They literally say,
I know. I say to Jake, I'm like, I don't know.
what's your take on God? And so we're actually going to have that one coming up. Yeah. Maybe here's the funny thing is
your
and-
friend would be a good
yeah,
one
so
for that.
Dishner, I think you know Dishner. Dishner's
We
one
talked
of my-
about Dishner on the last podcast.
Yeah, he is. He's actually going to come in town in 2 weeks. And you're going to be out of town.
I will be out of
So we're
town.
going to have a guest host that week, and it's going to be him. So I might just,
I
hit
think
him.
that would be good because he has some pretty controversial comments
I'm
about
gonna
religion.
hit him with it at the very beginning. Oh, welcome to the podcast. What do you think about God?
I hope he doesn't listen to this one, so he's surprised and doesn't know.
So that's how you win your Vitamix. Make sure you participate.
and we'll
They're
announce
awesome.
the winner next week.
So this next topic, so we're gonna get a little deep here. If you don't want to get deep, then you can just fast forward. So I actually asked both of you if this is cool for me to ask, and you both reluctantly said yes. But and I asked like about 8 more times. You said yes, it's fine. So both of you have dealt with death, head on, face on, just hit it like a brick wall. And so, recently, Megan, you have gone through some things with your best friend. The
That's
person you
right.
would talk to every single day, text back
like
and
a
forth,
sister.
is gone.
Yep.
And Danielle, you've lost both your parents in a matter of 3 months, was it? 3 or 4?
71 days.
So it's crazy.
Wow.
Absolutely crazy. And so actually, the reason why Danielle's in town is that it was the anniversary of your father's car accident was this past weekend.
Crash.
Crash. And so I did want to have both of you talk about this because it's something, because not so much Megan because I didn't know her back then, but those events had just a crazy effect on me. And it was crazy at the time. It's turned out to be a good effect on me. And I talk about it when I'm,
You
talking
helped me. You were
talking
really
about just
helpful
like
for
meditation. But I also feel selfish when I say that because you've been lost with a big void in your life. And so, and I'll get to Megan in a second. But I wanted to say, first of all, I just really, and I've never really kind of said this to you, but it's made me take like a closer look just of a depth of my life, depth of even spirituality of my life. And even though I know it's very hard for you to, maybe it is or maybe it isn't, to understand, but for me, it's changed me for the better. And so I hope it's not selfish. It's just like I've learned so much going through that and seeing you and being around with your family that it's changed me just to be a completely better person. So thank you for that. You don't even have to say anything to that. But on the other side of things, I wanted to talk about, it was so hard for you guys. And so I wanted to say, when you lost both your parents after those 71 days, what did you do? Like, what did you do after that?
I really just leaned on you guys and our family that was in town for an extended period and all of my friends. It's such a blur. I don't really remember it very well. I have this, I was actually just talking about it last night with another friend who was in it with us that whole period of time. And I was just like, I have that feeling that you guys were there. I know that you guys were there. And that's how I got through it.
How did you wake up every day and say, oh, I got to take on this day?
A lot of times I would forget and I mean, still, it still feels like they're still here, and oh, I should like call them and tell them about this. You know,
How long has it been?
this it's 6 years. So like
Wow.
the crash was on the 17th, and my dad passed away on the 27th, and then
71 days later, your mom passed away.
yeah.
Correct. Okay. And then how? Because you guys, and you have obviously Lauren, and then your brother Zach. You know, how did you find that each one of you had to find your own way after that? You know, or did you bond together to kind of get through it, or was it a mixture of both?
Yeah, definitely a mixture.
Did you find that you needed your own space?
I think yes, my own space, but I think I also tried to take care of them as much as possible also.
Yeah.
I wanted to step in and be there, and I tried to. I don't know if I did. Hopefully I did.
No, you did a very good job.
Yeah.
Very good job. They did something that was really cool, which was because they went through just this. It was absolutely crazy, and I forget how long after it was, but they decided to say, "We're leaving. We're just going to get out of South Florida. We're just going to go away." And what they did was they actually went to the place that their entire family vacationed in Holden Beach, and they didn't invite anybody else. It was, you know, nobody else was invited. You know, I think maybe Ashley came or something like that, or I don't, or maybe that was the Washington
no,
trip.
it was just the
yeah,
three
it's
of
just
us.
three of us. Okay,
Just you and
Three
your
of them.
brother and sister.
Mhm.
And they said we're just going to go. And can you tell us just a little bit about that? First of all, how long after everything happened did you do that?
My mom passed away January 6th, and we went to Holden Beach, I think maybe like the 18th or something.
Yeah.
Oh, so like right
Maybe,
after.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because from our standpoint, and I'm just giving my take from like kind of like being the outside standpoint. You know, we had been around you guys pretty much every day since
Oh, yeah.
October and everything. And then even for us, like when you guys left, I remember Gina and I, and I think Hillary was even around there at the time, just kind of being like, oh my God, what do we do now?
Yeah.
like they're gone. And so, I mean, meaning you guys, meaning like, you know, we'd been with you guys and then you need to do that. But it was,
I never thought about that. That's interesting.
but it's cool. It's something you guys act. Now, how long were you actually in on that vacation for?
I think a whole week.
Now,
Yeah.
What-
Maybe even like 10 days, because I know we stopped in Savannah on the way up there, and then I think we spent a week.
because even to those days leading up to that, there wasn't a lot of times when you guys were by yourself because you had
Yeah,
a lot of
no.
family constantly in there. So was there a point on that vacation where you guys were like, what the fuck just happened?
Oh, yeah. And I was very religious at that time of my life. I would say I'm not anymore, but I leaned on religion a lot then. And it helped me,
Yeah,
and it was what I
sure.
needed then.
That's awesome.
And that's fine. So,
And so would you talk about that with Zach and Lauren or?
I would try to.
Yeah,
They weren't very open to it.
sure.
But, yeah.
Now, would you, how long into, I'm just like, because that trip, you were there for 10 days. Because, I mean, it's just kind of crazy because you guys went from just everything and then just like, poof, like this period of 10 days. Like, was there, obviously there was some down and sad times. Were there happy times where there's, when you guys,
Yeah, like I spur of the moment got a tattoo, like
Cool.
to remember my mom when we were in Savannah. And what else did we do? I don't know. We actually rented this like
you guys rented this massive house.
massive house.
That's awesome. Well, that's good. Good for you.
Yeah, and it was.
You're just like, fuck it. We're going all in.
And it was funny though, also because it was pretty dead there because it was winter on the beach in North Carolina, and it's very much a rental kind of a community.
Right.
And
So did you rent it for 10 days, or you're like, we're gonna stay here for as long as we see fit?
no, we just rented it for a
Okay.
like a
Now, when you
period.
got back,
because we actually were coming back for Race for the Cure.
right?
And
Now, was there? I'm sure you actually had multiple days. Were there ever days when you kind of like looked up and were like, I can't do it. I just can't go on.
oh yeah, like, it was. I mean, still feels like that sometimes.
No, sure, absolutely, and it's important to know. It's like it's not like there's ever a, what's the word I'm looking? It's not like a move. It's not a getting over it or moving on. A closure. There's no such thing as closure, right?
No.
Because it's something that's just with you all the time. At what point, let's say after the vacation, did you see like a turn of saying, okay, things have definitely I can do this. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a tough road, but I can do this.
Years, maybe just like
Time.
recently, like the past few years, coming up on October, and then the holidays, and then January when my mom passed away.
Sure.
This time of year has always been really terrible, and like I tried to make it a point this year of like not having it be really terrible, because I don't want to feel like that, and I
Right.
know my parents don't want me to feel like that.
Sure.
And I think I've been doing a pretty good job
Yeah.
of it.
Did you read or have been reading any books? Were there any books that you said like, oh, this one really helped?
Yeah.
Do
Actually,
you want to share those?
yeah, the one that I read that I really connected with, I think it was called The Long Goodbye. I can't remember the girl's name, but I really like connected with a lot of things that she said in that, and I was super surprised because there's not many books on dealing with like the loss of. This book isn't dealing with the loss of both parents; it's just her mom, but she's around my age, and
Right.
and it's like a weird age to
All of
become
a
an
sudden be
orphan.
Did you find yourself trying to seek out other people that this happened to?
Mm-hmm.
Did you find any?
Yeah. Actually, one friend from high school wrote me on Facebook right after because he had lost both of his parents, and we weren't even that good of friends at
Sure.
all. But it just felt very like connecting to.
Did that help to
hear
know that, hey, this has happened to other people?
Mm-hmm.
It did?
Yeah. And I've met two people living out in Los Angeles that have lost both their parents, and it's like I feel an instant kind of
Sure.
a connection, and I wouldn't say it's like nice,
But it kind of
but
is.
yeah,
You don't feel as alone.
yeah.
Now, so when did you move out to Los Angeles?
July 12th, 2013.
So 2 years ago. So you've been out there 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so at that point, it was 4 years after your parents had passed
Mhm.
away. Other than, because I know that you actually wanted to get a career in the pictures. Other than getting a career in the pictures, other than that, what was the driving force between the move to Los Angeles?
I knew that my parents wanted me to be happy, and I felt like that was what I wanted to do, and it still is. It is what I want to do, and I'm excited to be doing it and living out there, and yeah. So I think a big driving force was my parents.
So when you decided to move, because you talked about it for a while,
Mhm.
you were taking classes and everything, and I don't know if Megan knows this, but you were like, everybody knows Danielle in Palm Beach County, Florida.
Stop.
Everybody knows Danielle.
That's why your name sounds so
And
familiar.
so, we'd go to dinner or do whatever, and it'd be like, oh, there's so and so, and you talk to everybody. So everybody knew you. Your family's up and down the East Coast, but you really don't have many people on the West Coast.
Mm-hmm.
And so for you just kind of pack it up and leave to go to LA, why was it hard?
It's funny. It's actually, I enjoyed not running into people I know
Right.
in Los Angeles. Like at first, it's kind of gotten a little old.
Of course, because I also have to think that, was there ever a time like being around here where, because after the accidents, after everything happened, like that was everybody either they didn't know that about you, so it may, so maybe it made an awkward conversation, but everybody would say, oh, I'm so sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Was there a point where we were tired of hearing that? You just didn't want to talk about it? Like if you're going to, let's just say
Mhm.
you're going to Target and you run into somebody that you haven't seen that heard about it.
Yeah, like you can like see the pity in their face,
Right.
kind of a thing. But it's also like I do want to talk about my parents. Like
Sure.
I want people to remember them, and
Now,
you
like-
always want that.
Now
when-
let's say you're like at Target. You like to shop at Target, right?
Hello, Target. Me and
we
Gina.
have so much in common.
But let's say you're at Target and let's say that's a good day, right? Things are going fine, and you see Susie Q comes up and it said, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, would you find that would kind of like deflate that day?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So when you moved out to LA, it was kind of nice where it was like, I can actually go to Target in LA or wherever they have out there, In-N-Outs or whatever.
This podcast is brought to you by Target.
But you go there and you knew that like, I'm not going to see anybody and I can just kind of just be myself and not worry about a thing. And so would you say that was...
It's a big feeling that I had. Yeah.
I think also having to focus on like making a life out there and meet new people, you weren't thinking about everything that you just had left behind and had come from, I'm sure too.
Yeah.
Because you could sort of start over. You're not leading with that in conversation, I would imagine. I mean, of course, it's a huge part of who you are, but being here, as Jake said, you'd run into people and they'd probably know, or, they see it on Facebook or whatnot. And then out there, you can just say, oh, this is who I am. This is where I'm from. It's not like right away you're like, I'm an orphan.
When I was out in LA about like a month ago, I saw Danielle and it was... She looked so happy out there. She showed me all around.
We talked about it on the podcast.
We talked about it on the podcast. I did not want to make the trip that night to the airport to grab a rent-a-car to go, but I'm glad I did.
I'm glad you did too.
I'm glad I did. But it was. I felt like it was I think that's still a thing that you needed to do, and you're still exploring it, which is absolutely awesome.
Oh yeah, my boss. Before she was my boss, we were like meeting at like a coffee place, and she told me that she thinks it takes about 3 years to really like acclimate to a new place when you move. And I was like, she is so spot on too, because like I'm kind of coming up on 3 years, not really, but in a few months, and I do feel it getting a little bit more comfortable. And
oh, sure.
Well, you just bought your new Bachelorette pad.
Oh, yeah. It's very cool.
That's so exciting.
Because like I remember when Gina and I moved to Florida, we literally knew nobody except each other. It was like us, me and her versus the world. And at that, that was very tough because it was like kind of, oh, it's you again. We haven't met anybody else. And it was very tough. So, but to do it by like, it's just absolutely awesome. Just not to say that think that you have a target on your back. So actually I want to ask Megan a few questions too, because Megan just actually kind of went through some
this is it's so interesting to hear you talk. And like obviously before the podcast I had no idea this about you. I mean, I didn't even put it together. So I appreciate that earlier you were letting me talk before the podcast, because I was really dumping on you a lot of stuff. It's interesting how we have some parallels as far as, like the timing of everything, or, that's sort of like one thing after another, because a lot of you guys who have listened to the podcast from the beginning, that back in July, my best friend of 17 years was killed in a boating accident, and it claimed the life of her uncle, and it like severely injured her cousin and her boyfriend. And then 2 days ago, literally exactly 3.5 months, exactly to the day, 3.5 months after the accident, I just found out that her boyfriend passed away too. So he died like 48 hours ago. And so it's crazy for me because when Jenna passed, I like became, he was like this testament to this like last living person that was with her. And like, I just felt so close to him. We both lost, our best friend. It was his love, but she was like my sister practically for so many years. And so like we became so close. And so when I found out Monday that this happened so unexpectedly and obviously related to the accident and everything, it was like, as I'm sure for you in a different way, but like all of a sudden all over again. And it was like, just not when I was starting to feel normal, but like when it's been like 3.5 months and I'm like, learning how to like deal with this loss and this whole like, because I'm much more fresh on this than you. And so I know I can understand when you're saying like you think, oh, I should just tell them this. I mean, there are so many things that happen now or things that are coming up and I'm like, oh man, I need to tell her that, or like, oh, this reminds me of her. And then it's like I'm still dealing with that. And so then like on Monday to find out, it's like I'm almost like, it feels like a circle is closed in some way, because I know that I'm relieved that he's at peace. But as with every single death, it's really harder on the people that are here. I used to, I think, as I'm sure you can understand, and you too, before, and because you had such a fear of death. For me, I had never lost anyone before. I'm 28. I had never lost anyone before. And I was so grateful for that. And I was always like, oh my gosh, thinking about death in the sense of how it must be so scary. Oh my gosh, to die, it must be so scary. But now that I've experienced loss, I'm like, shit, it's scarier to be here and to like have it after. It's almost like harder to be the one that remains. I would imagine, it's like the rest of us, it's more terrifying. And I never even thought about being the survivor or the one that's still here. I always thought about the death being the scariest thing. But for me, it's been like the having to move on, the having to like compartmentalize because, and Jake knows because he was obviously like so involved from the beginning. And it was very sudden. Both of these have been. It's like really weird because for me, it's the same thing. You know, sometimes like I'll have good days and then I'll think of something and then it's like everything just gets all screwed up. You know, like I'll be going somewhere and then think about something or it'll just remind me. It's like the only way I can describe it, as I'm sure you know, is, and it's of course nothing like I ever thought it would be. It's almost like when you're nauseous, like it will just come
say a
up.
punch.
Yeah, it will just
Feels
like come
someone
up.
punched
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Like all of a sudden, like I could be, and it's never at times that I think about. You know, I can speak to you about it. Like I was saying earlier, I can speak to you about it right now, and it's like I'm telling you something I saw in a movie, and I feel okay. I mean, I feel sad because I'm aware of it, but I don't feel the way I do when I'm like washing dishes or like folding laundry and I
Alone
think about
in your thoughts.
so alone in my thoughts. And it's a very interesting thing. And I'm sure a lot of people out there who are listening to this can relate to this. And for me as well, how you connected with, or you found other people that, you know, don't have their parents either. Cause I think no matter what age, it's just terrible. For me, what was very helpful was talking to people like Jake, who was around people that he loved so much that lost somebody. And then a guy that I work with on another job, his 5 years ago, his best friend was killed in an accident unexpectedly. And he understood everything that I did as far as, what do you mean? I just talked to them on the phone. And how does that happen? You know, like nothing seems so neat and tidy. It's just like one day you're here and the next you're gone.
I want to go back to something you said about like a couple minutes ago, which was, and I had this kind of, you could say, opening or understanding. It was like a year or two ago. And it was something about like the whole like fear of death thing, which was, you know, because everybody fears death. A lot of people do, right? And so,
I did.
But I had kind of like this deep experience where I felt that, you know, the actual act of dying is not, you know, is not this horrific thing. What leads up to it could be bad, right? You're caught in like a grinder, you know, the pain of it actually happening, it sucks. But the actual act of dying is actually a really peaceful thing. And so it kind of goes back to, which was, it's really a lot more painful for the people that are left behind than it is for the actual person that's going through it. I mean, other than the fact, like, if you are going through like a, you know, a tree chopper,
right,
or just,
right.
like, I'm really thinking like the worst thing of the worst. But the actual act of like the last breath leaving the body is actually, it's a peaceful thing, because that's a spirit leaving the body at that point. And I'm not going to get too deep into kind of, you know, what happens after that now, but it's harder for the people that are left behind. So, and it's interesting because, I mean, this is definitely a heavy situation. This is definitely a heavy topic to talk about. You can see I'm sweating.
Sweating through your good shirt.
I'm sweating through it. I have another one I can put on.
Good thing.
But for you, Megan, you know, kind of the same question, which was, you know, and you're kind of still new to this. Have you been reading it all? Have you?
Yeah, I actually. So my girlfriend's mom was given a book by her brother's wife, her sister-in-law, and it was called Permission to Mourn, and it's by a guy named Tom Zuba. And it's nice. It's a very slim book. It's written almost like, it's very casual, very, very easy to read. And it's written by a guy that in the span of, I think, 8 or 9 years, him and his wife lost like their infant child. And then his wife passed. And then one of his other sons died. And so it was like in the course of 8 or 9 years, it's called Permission to Mourn, this book. And for me, it was beautiful in the sense of, he writes things about, it's not spiritual, but it's what I like to believe, which is, I don't like to believe that like it's a switch that gets flipped and then it's just dark and there's nothing. So he sort of writes this book about how you should be able to feel your feelings and you should be able to ride that. And, you know, there are things like when you feel the wind blow, or when you smell a certain thing, or when you see something, like how those could maybe be signs from your loved ones. And it's just really a beautiful way of how I'm trying to now like because obviously with you too, I'm sure it's like you have to figure out this way to like live with this feeling of missing a part of your body. That's what it feels like. And so this book, Permission to Mourn, sort of makes it like you should grieve and you can grieve and it's okay to grieve, and there's no timeline for what's right and what's wrong, but to remember, you know, that there are certain things that our loved ones will like be telling us or trying to give back to us when they're gone. And I read somewhere that do you guys know who Dr. Wayne Dyer is?
Yeah.
Okay, so Dr. Wayne Dyer, his I went to school with his kids.
He's kind of like a self-help spiritual.
Yeah. Like
guru
very
type
very
guy.
amazing
Sure.
man. He passed away about a month ago.
Yep.
And I went to high school with some of his kids, and his daughter, one of his daughters I'm friends with, and I'm friends with her on Facebook and stuff. And she's really been like seeking and very vocal about, she's written a book with her dad, so she has like quite a big following. And she was really vocal about looking for signs and things because her dad was very spiritual. Very, very spiritual. And one of these things that she said that like I've now been looking for them and I really like is, I guess in one of these things, these talks or these spirituality things, she was saying that when you see feathers, they're actually a sign from like the departed, from your loved ones, and like when there are feathers around. And she took this photo that she has a baby that was born a few months ago. She was like took a photo of her baby, that her baby was in the crib, and like she went over to it and there was like a little feather in there. And so she was saying that it was like a sign from her. I know. So I'm like ripping apart down pillows. Like,
that's funny.
Where are
because
you?
It's funny you say, because before you even said the feather thing, I was thinking when your mom was in her room in her last moments, I remember everybody talking about this. I don't know if you remember this, but there was a cardinal, like a red bird that kept coming around the window.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple people made a mention that, that it was your father. But it was cool that
That's
you were kind of
beautiful.
talking about it. But it was like a bird that just kept coming back to the window.
Yeah, a lot
and
of
then
people.
and then two
Yeah.
after.
Really?
Yeah, it was really cool.
That's beautiful.
And so kind of like the last thing I'm going to say about this was, and I kind of just drew this a little bit, which it makes no sense if you're looking at it, but you kind of go through life. Like there's a point, like you're born, now you're like a little kid and you're going about through school and you're going about through things. And the majority of people kind of get to a point where like, high school and college or even like our age and stuff like that. And then like something like happens, right? Some people make it all the way to like 60 or 70 and like later on in life before something happens. And I remember at the hospital with your dad, one of his partners came in, and you just look like he looked like, I think it was Dwayne. He looked like just like a train hit him. And I remember him saying something to somebody that, he had never experienced anything like this in his life.
Yeah.
It was just like, everybody's supposed to live till they're 80, 90, 100 or whatever. And, to have something happen so early, he'd never experienced anything like that. And so I think, it's hard as it is to sound like to say, and because I know that you want your parents back every single day, there's definitely something to learn, to something deeper there of, and I'm not getting crazy spiritual or anything like that, but it's just like, I would love to have them back every single day, but that's not the reality of it. But so many people go through their life without being slapped in their face, punched in the gut and everything. When things happen later on in life, it can be really, really bad. And so I'm not saying it's a good thing at all, because it definitely wasn't. But
you have to find the growth in it, and I'm sure for
that's
you,
that's perfect way
I'm
to say
sure
it.
for you, as I've been, it's made me, and I'm sure for you too, or I would imagine, like more empathetic. Like now, I was just saying that somebody else that I'm close to just lost a loved one, and so for me, it's like I now not only can, everybody says, and I know that people mean well when they say, if there's anything I can do, I'm here for you. Mm-hmm. But it's like, now that I've experienced something like that, I can honestly say and mean, like, I understand, I'm here for you. And I'm sure for you too, like, God forbid somebody that you care for needs something. You, having already been through such a horrible experience, are now able to really be a rock for somebody.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that helps your own recovery, because for me, something that I was listening to when you were talking earlier about how you were with your siblings and you were trying to build them up, one of the things that's been really helpful, or has been trying to be helpful for me, is I almost find comfort when I'm with other people that loved Jenna and loved her boyfriend, and I'm comforting them, because it's like this shared sort of suffering, but it made me like find peace in it. Because if I'm telling you, I understand. Yeah, it fucking sucks. It's not going to get any better, but you know what? We'll make it through. It's like I'm almost now finally trying to take my own advice from it.
Yeah. And so, to kind of wrap up that segment, but definitely the feeling, I think we both can agree with this, is you also have to get comfortable with yourself, right? Because it is good, and you can definitely find ways, and you can find even more comfort in working with people and talking to people, and community is great and everything. But like you did, you went to LA by you and your best friend, which is yourself. You just like went out, went by yourself and made your own way. And I think that
Me and my 2 cats.
That's awesome. Oh my God, we have so much in common. I have 2 cats
Oh
too.
my
I
God.
love her. I'm going to LA.
but I think I think that
I'm just gonna call in next week for the podcast. I'll be with you.
but that was absolutely awesome because you said, and we had talked about this all the time. You just basically said, I'm putting it on my back.
Yep.
You know, Lauren's fine, Zach's fine. I got to worry about me. And you just put your future on your back and said, I'm going after it. And I think that is absolutely awesome. And I think, I think that you're going to make your way. I think that you're going to learn a lot from it. But because a lot of people will just kind of sit back and just say, I don't, what else is there? But you literally just said, I'm doing this. It's not going to be easy. It's, I'm never going to forget about this, but I'm making my own way. And that's absolutely awesome.
Inspiring.
So, yes. But she does have cats. Cat.
I love it.
And when I was out there, she gave me a list before I left that I had to feed the cat. And part of the list was I actually
don't kill the cat.
No. Part of it was I had to show Zimmerman love. So I was like, what is that? Is that 5 minutes? Is that 10 minutes? What do I do?
He's not a cat person.
I love all animals
except cats.
I like cats.
Zimmerman's so sweet.
I love that your cat has like a normal adult name, like Zimmerman.
That's so funny.
My cat's names are Midnight and Miss Kitty.
Aw, that's cute.
So one thing I actually want to talk about here in kind of the last segment is the we're gonna run longer, but screw it. It was absolutely awesome. Does everybody feel okay?
I know. Am I going to have to? Are you going to bill my insurance company?
By the way, I was really nervous
for this therapy?
asking you questions. I was, literally have underboob sweat and everything.
I'm sweating.
I'm sweating.
You're wearing a sweater. I don't know.
Yeah, you are. Where is she from?
Lightweight.
But thank you both for letting me talk about that.
As Danielle, I was talking to Danielle about before the podcast, and I was like, I'm sorry if I'm dumping this on you. And this is before I even knew everything. And she was like, no, it's good for you to be able to talk about it. So it is, and thank you.
Danielle is awesome. So the next thing that we want to talk about is, so this is the Alternative Health Podcast. We talk about a lot about health and stuff like that. As you know, I've been complaining about traveling for. I need to get over that.
Hashtag first world problems. He's ridiculous.
But after traveling, I got a little sick, and then I actually had kind of like a neck spasm, and I couldn't do anything. So for like about a week, I couldn't do anything active. I was just kind of just sitting around. And yesterday, it just hit me. Like, it was one of those things where I was just like, I need to do something. And it was
Was this when you were on your turmeric juice?
So it's funny you said that. It was actually that's when I put my headphones on, and I don't like listen to music is great, right? And I love listening to music, but there's sometimes like I really want to kind of like have my brain do a little bit of work. So I'll listen to podcasts I listened to the whole, and I sent this book to you, Eckhart Tolle, Power of Now. I never read it. I listened to the book, and it's like in terms of like a book time, it's like 10 hours. And so I literally, and it was right after everything that happened with you, I just ran. I felt like Forrest Gump. I'm just running and just listened to Eckhart Tolle. And it's funny.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
His voice is very soothing and stuff, but it's not something you're going to be like, yeah, I'm going to hit this next mile with, whatever. It was just like, but that was it. It was perfect for the time for me.
It was alternative.
And then of course with the meditation and everything, which of doing twice a day was also awesome. But so I like to kind of like exercise my brain while I'm exercising. It's kind of cool. And so when I was running, I was like listening to Laird Hamilton and everything, and it was just like it just got me all fired up. And I was like, what am I doing? I need to be doing this every day. And so I wanted to talk to you guys about that. Do you feel the need to do something active or doing something to kind of progress your body, your mind, or something every single day? Because for the past week I wasn't, and I was just kind of, even though I don't work in a cubicle, I've literally thought to myself, I'm literally just kind of sitting here just like doing like typical work like all day long, and this is just absolutely terrible. I need to be doing something else. And so I become like a caged animal. And so I was like, I need to go run. So I hadn't done anything in a week, and I went and ran for like 5 miles. Like,
wow. Are you sore now?
Well, here's the thing: is I actually didn't wear socks because I was and so
that's a terrible idea.
Ridiculous.
Ooh.
Yeah, and so
your heels are already bad.
I'm not talking about my heels. It was the blister on my. So anyway, so I ran that, and so for 4 miles I ran, and the last mile I just couldn't run anymore because the blisters were bad. So I just kind of was like, screw it, I'll just take the shoes off and just like walked home. So it was awesome. And so I went for another run this morning and everything, but I found like I just definitely need to do something. Personally, I need to do something active each day because of a couple of things. One, as I said, I like my beer. It makes the beer taste so much better. And I'm not talking about like 8 or 10, like 1 or 2. And it just like, I ran, awesome. Makes the food taste that much better. Like, I just did this ran. I had tacos.
I deserve it.
I had tacos last night, Rocco's. Oh my God. Yeah, it was so good with guacamole. And I was like, yeah, I ran today. So I'm rewarding myself. But just like everything about it, was so awesome. And of course I did drink that kind of crazy, peppery juice. So just wanted to see, is there anything that you guys do, like feel the need to do something active or something to kind of like progress your body, mind, spirit forward every single day? You go to the gym 2 hours a day. I know that.
I try and do something active like 4 or 5 times a week. So I'll allow myself maybe one day a week, sometimes twice a week to not do anything. I'll be like, okay, I've done enough this week, but maybe I'll go for a walk or ride my bike. I mean, I live in an area where if I don't have to go very far, I'll walk there. But I haven't been to the gym. This will be like my 4th day in a row. I haven't gone to the gym. And
oh my God.
I know.
What are you doing?
I know. Hating on myself.
Sometimes you just have to take it.
I know.
Like that.
Well, that's the thing is, and I find that it's not like I don't deserve it. It's not like something is going to drastically change in, on my insides or my appearance. But I think sometimes people, and I'm definitely guilty of this, if I'm now at 4 days and I haven't worked out, I'm so much harder on myself.
Yeah.
But like if you were saying that, like I'm sitting here thinking like, oh, you haven't worked out in a week. It's not a big deal, but I can't take that own advice.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I'm so much harder on myself. I'm like, oh my God, I'm such a bum. Like, this is so bad. I'm just going to starve myself, which I never do. I mean, I wish I could, which would be very unhealthy, ladies and gentlemen. But
don't do it.
Right? Don't do it, please. Food is too good. But it's just funny because I think I'm harder on myself when I'm not active. If it's like the days get away from me, or I sometimes just have a lot going on where I can't, obviously finding out this news 2 days ago, I was like, well, how can I go to the gym right now? I just found out, my friend passed away. And so like the past few days, I've sort of been in this kind of,
and that happens.
Right. And I know I need to work on myself and feel better and not be so, how could I go to the gym right now?
Here's another thing I want to jump in there because it's also the feeling of, let's say I had been active every single day for, forever.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have experienced that kind of like, boom, that shot of a cannon. This is what I need to do. So it is kind of like an ebb and flow. It is a cycle.
Absolutely.
And there's absolutely a benefit to it. But like I find myself like more creative, less moody, just like more even extroverted when I'm doing something active and I'm done. And I can say, oh, I went for a run on the beach. And I don't do things to tell other people, but it's just the endorphin release. It's everything about it that makes it. So Danielle, in a place like Los Angeles, do you find yourself like wanting to do something, whether it is something active, whether it is something with your work, whether it is something just kind of like, because you're kind of like starting a new career now. So I know that that's like your focus now, which is absolutely awesome. So do you find yourself trying to progress something or just trying to kind of like grab something? Because you're kind of like me, like when you see something, when you want something to do, you're just going to keep scratching to get it done. So what do you do to help feed that creative process?
Well, like speaking to like the gym, it's just so hard. Like when you've been working all day and then
I'm sure so many people listening can relate to that right now.
And like
I hate the gym.
As much as like you want to get there, it's just really difficult. And it would actually help you if you did go. Like you would feel better and you would have more energy, but it's just really difficult. And I've moved into my new place a month ago, and I still haven't made it to my gym that I made the membership at. Like,
do you like going to the gym?
Does anybody like going to
you
the
do.
gym?
I like the way I
feel. I like the way I feel. I like the way I look.
I think you do. You go for 2 hours. So Danielle, there's other things that you can do too.
Right. I like playing basketball. I like swimming.
Good for you.
Yeah.
That's even better.
Yeah.
So why don't you go shoot hoops?
I know. I did sign up for one of those meetups. Have you ever done meetup?
Oh my God, that's such a good idea. My sister did that in New York and joined a kickball league.
That's how Jake and I met.
That's how we
Really?
met. So when
Oh
I first moved down here, it was just Gina and I versus the world. And I finally told her, I told Gina, I want to have more friends than just like coworkers. I was like, I gotta do something. So I did something that's completely out of the norm for me. I went on Craigslist and found
Missed connection
and looked up kickball. and found a league, and just how the universe works, I was put on Danielle's team.
That's awesome.
And with her cousins and her group of friends that she had, they all welcomed me in there. And we played for like 2 or 3 years, and it was just became this awesome core group of friends.
We won the championship one time.
Yeah, we did. It was our first. It was my first season. But
Maple syrup conglomerate.
But that was also the very. that was back in our crazy days.
Yeah,
yeah.
that was
We would.
crazy.
I mean, because kickball is like a beer drinking league.
Yeah,
right?
my sister like goes out for drinks with them.
So it'd be
every
like
week.
We've grown.
It would be like as soon as we would get off work, it'd be like drink kickball, drink till 2 a.m. And so we
Drink at kickball.
drink at kickball. You know,
Yeah.
don't go to bed, stay up all the next day.
Disaster.
But yeah,
Such a disaster.
such a disaster. It was perfect for that time, right? We can't change that time, and so we met each other through that. But so are
and
you?
Lauren and Hillary.
They owe it all to us.
So
They
your
owe it all to
sisters,
us.
that's so cool. Your sisters met through you guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when they told me that they were a couple, the first thing out of my mouth, I said, "You're welcome."
Yeah. And so we're gonna be. I think I'm giving. Are you giving a speech?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm muscle. I
course.
think
Yeah.
I'm giving a speech too, and I'm bringing the ukulele as well. But anyway, so not to get off track. So are you you're doing like are you gonna do a meetup, or are you gonna do something?
I need to.
Because it's good to be you versus the world for a while, because you need to find your way. But then there's actually that sense of community that comes out there.
Yeah, so I need to do that. I haven't actually done it yet. I did it at my old apartment before, and
But here's like something to think about too. And this is not like a piling or preaching or anything. I just found because like I'm definitely because I am not. Other than when I need to kind of like feed the beast and do something crazy, like go for a run. Like I actually don't like to like go to the gym and do stuff like that. But I do like to do stuff like paddle boarding or just do something like kind of like just that.
You go for walks on the beach.
Well, here, like for 2 weeks, we had surf, and so I surfed every single day. I didn't never viewed that as workout, but it was definitely a workout.
absolutely.
Right?
It's a full body
and so
workout.
if you can find something that like is fun to you, and there's no like there's like a lot of people will get crazy in that I need to drop X amount of pounds, or I need to get on this diet, I need to do this type of thing. If you could just just make a small change or just do something fun that helps. So
I just read an article really quick the other day, and I think it was either Shape or Women's Health, and they were saying that the title of the article was why it's bad to work out if you want to lose weight. And they were basically saying to work out because it will make you feel good, because it will fix your life and help your life in so many ways, rather than say, I need to join a gym so I can lose 30 pounds.
Yeah.
So it's find something, anything else. People need to remember, like, you have to try and aim for 10,000 steps every day, and you can easily get that. Is that why you're
is that
wearing
a
that?
Fitbit? Is that
So-
a Fitbit?
it's an Jawbone Up 24.
Gotcha.
So you can, so that will track like if you take the stairs, if you park a little farther away in the parking lot, walk your dog. I mean,
I was
like that
finding
is
it
great.
hard to get to 10,000, and it like gave me the suggestion of lowering my steps per day to like 5,000, and I find that I like get way higher than 5,000 just because the goal is closer.
So maybe you set a more realistic
Yeah.
goal. That's so interesting.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Now,
So-
can you walk to work or no?
no.
Can you bike?
There's some
Do you like bike?
hills.
Do you like biking?
I do like biking. I've actually
Don't be
been
afraid of a
meaning to
hill.
buy a bike.
Don't be afraid of
She
a
can't be
hill.
like all sweaty at her
It's
job.
yeah. It's also actually it's a super
Dangerous.
high
Wouldn't that be so dangerous?
My work
What,
is like
showering
in the
at the job?
Hollywood Hills. So
oh
like
my God, forget
those hills
about
are
it.
too big.
Shower at your job. Not everybody has a boss like you.
I shower at my job every day.
I'm gonna jump in the pool before work.
So along with that came kind of like having personal time, which was just finding some time for you, right? And even though, Danielle, I know that you're living by yourself right now, and so you do find a lot of time for yourself. But when on the flip side, when you have a family, and it's so funny because where we live, there's literally tons of family within like a 500-foot radius, and so finding personal time with when you have a lot of family around. It's
Your
tough.
life is like a sitcom.
So it's like it's literally like everybody lives in Raymond. Like somebody lives across the street. It's cool. It's actually it is really cool. But finding personal time is tough because somebody might just come walking in the door. It's great. I love that. I wouldn't change it for the world. But trying to find personal time is tough. So this is definitely, I'm speaking more to the moms like that have kids and everything like that. And so it's finding that personal time, just saying like I need 20 minutes to myself, 30 minutes to myself, and my wife does a good job of giving me that time. But
it's good for her too.
It's good for her too. But I found it was interesting because Paul Ryan, if we're going to kind of go into Paul Ryan, we're actually going to he's a Republican, I think, like senator or something like that, congressman. I forget his actual title.
He was in the running. He's part of the GOP.
He's part of the he was actually he was Mitt Romney's pick for vice president 4 years ago. And he was actually he doesn't want to be the Speaker of the House, but everybody wants him to do it. And he was like, listen, I'll do it if you guys think that I'm going to help. But you also have to do it under my conditions. So one of his conditions, so being in politics, you want to talk about people that like wear the same thing every day. They wear suits every single day. That sucks. So one of the things he said was, if I'm going to do this, I don't want to travel every single day, every single weekend or whatever. He's got, I think, 2 or 3 kids. And what he said was, if I'm going to do this, I want weekends off completely. I was like, because you do everything in DC, and I think they live in Wisconsin. And so he said, I want to fly back to Wisconsin, every single weekend. To hang out with my family and friends. And so I was reading, if you ever read internet comments, they're all bad. Whatever spectrum they're on.
There's a lot of trolls out there.
A lot of trolls. But and a lot of people were saying,
look at humanity.
But even like, as I've said multiple times before, I kind of classify myself as a liberal. But even like liberals were just being kind of like, oh, well, he's spending taxpayer money, that should be going here, and blah blah blah, and that should be nice. He's changing the rules to be like himself. But if he's not taking care of himself, if he's not, finding time for his personal growth, he's gonna do a bad job. Because just like me, if you're not finding yourself active, you're gonna find yourself cranky and everything. And so it's important for somebody like that to find the personal time in their jobs to get something done, especially when it affects the country. And it was just kind of like, it was just dovetailing with this piece for the workout and active, the active side. Whatever side of the curtain he's on, you need to find that personal time. And especially, with you guys, I was just kind of giving my share because I have a lot of different,
Stimuli
is perfect. That I need to find that that personal time to really focus. So, and then the last segment is what I wanted to talk about, which was I actually heard this quote on the podcast with Laird Hamilton, his wife Gabby Reese.
What a hot athletic couple!
I mean, come on!
My God, those bodies!
Jesus. And they like,
and they're both like over 6 feet tall.
Yeah, and they train every day.
Didn't know she was that tall.
Yeah, she is. And they have 3 kids, I believe. So they're doing it with kids. But the one thing, she was on a podcast, and the guy Tim Ferriss actually had asked her, if you had to say like one thing, if you had to tell humanity, tell listeners like one thing to do, what would you do it out of everything you said? And there's a couple other people on. Some people said meditate. Some people said be patient. Laird Hamilton actually said, like, one thing was like, if you could tell your 30-year-old self, Laird Hamilton said, he would tell himself, stop drinking now. But so Gabby Reese hers was it's cool, which was go first and say hello first. And I thought that was really cool because I was like, what does that mean? Because it was intrigued me. And so she went even further and basically said, if you're at the grocery store and you make eye contact with somebody, be the first to smile. If you're checking out, be the first to say hello. If you're passing by, a stranger and you guys make eye contact, say hi. There's definitely times when you can't do it, right? But what it does is, it kind of starts with that whole, like, be the change you want to see in the world, right? If you want people to be more friendly, more, you want the kind of world to be a better place, say hello first. And it's something I am terrible at. I'm the type of person, if I'm walking by and we make eye contact, I put my head down. I don't want to talk to you. And
I bet listeners wouldn't expect that, though.
I was just thinking the same thing.
If we pass each other on the street, I'm going to look the other way. Or I'm going to pretend to pick up my phone to kind of look and pretend to take a call. I've definitely pretended to take a call at times. And it's just
people
really
know
bad.
your secrets now.
And yeah, it's really bad. But I'm talking to 2 completely
Danielle and I are not like that.
Polar opposite extroverted people. So how do you do it? Like when you see somebody, like what inside of you tells you, I need to say hi to that person. Like, cause you are like, when you walk in, like you come in, wrap me up with an awesome hug and everything like that. And that's great. And I love getting hugs and I'm a big hugger too. But like when you see somebody, like there's no anxiety that you have saying, hey, how's it going? What are you doing? There's none whatsoever.
I'm sure you're the same. Like, I'm sure I've felt maybe weird before. I can't even think of a time. I guess for me personally, And this goes back, my mom and dad.
That's exactly what I was going to
really
say.
My mom and dad are both, even my step parents, but especially my mom and dad are both very, very outgoing, like outspoken people. And I was telling my mom about this recently. I remember being young, like very young, and being in the checkout line at the grocery store, and my mom would make a comment or
Same.
strike. Really?
Yeah.
My mom would like strike a conversation with maybe the lady checking us out or the man or woman behind us. And I remember being young and thinking like, oh, I can mirror that behavior. Like my mom was happy. She would make friends wherever she goes. And so I guess for me, I sort of imitated that. And I'm so comfortable now, as I'm sure you, I mean, even when Danielle and I met each other, we were talking like right
it's
away.
Funny because when you guys came in, like I had got done with my run and I needed to go take a shower. And so when you came in, I even told, because I was going to go take a shower. So I told Danielle, I was like, if Megan comes in, I have no doubt in my mind you guys will be able to hit it off. It's going to be fine. I'm going to go take a shower or whatever.
Yeah.
But then, I actually welcomed you in and then went and took my shower. If I was at your place, Danielle, and you said, I'm going to go take a shower, Susie Q is going to come over just to hang out with her, I would literally have a panic attack. I would literally be like, oh my God, I got to pretend like I'm on the phone. I got to go take a call, just do whatever. And all those things would go through my head because I'm just so I'm so uncomfortable in those situations. But you guys do it so well. So this is a quote for me to use, which is to say hello first and to smile first. And I do smile, like if I'm going for my walk at the beach and stuff like that, I do smile, say good morning and everything. So I do that. But sometimes like if I'm I don't know, like if I'm in a public place, or another thing is like there was like the food truck invasion that we went to, and so I really thought, and we talked about this last time, I really thought that it was gonna be like not a lot of people there, and when I show up and you see all these cars, I'm like panic mode, right? Oh my God,
You shut down.
I do shut down, and so because I get very uncomfortable, and I'm sure there's deep lying triggers and compartments in my head of why that is, and I'm working on that. But when you're thrown in there, it's so hard. And it's funny, I was actually talking to somebody who I talk about meditation with all the time, and I had actually texted her and I said, I'm at this place. I'm at this food truck place. I was like, there's so many people here. I'm literally freaking out. I'm being an asshole to Gina. What do I do? And she was like, is there beer there? And I was like, yeah. She's like, go find it and drink it right now. And I was like, there's no you don't want me to go find a quiet space, whatever. It's like, no, go find beer. So I do find, and I don't want to get off another tangent, but that's how I think how alcohol can actually be used for a good thing. Can kind of help you down.
Loose you up.
Having 8 is probably not a good idea, but having 1 to kind of calm you down a little bit, and it did help. I did kind of hang around a little bit, but of course the damage is already done to Gina. She as we're driving home, why are you like that? But anyway, so smile first and say hello first. I don't need to tell you two that because you're already really good.
So basically, keep doing what we're doing.
You guys are perfect.
It's funny. High five. It's funny because we both live in cities, her in LA and me in Miami, where we're not the norm. Most people, I can speak. I mean, I've been to Los Angeles. I've never lived there, but most people I find, like if you say hi to somebody, they're like surprised. But my boyfriend is from North Carolina. You're from Virginia.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the norm. You walk down the street and everybody says hello. Everybody's, how you doing? How's it going? Nice day today, huh?
Yeah.
And I'm like that, like you are. And I live in a place where I say that. And sometimes like people will be receptive to it. Other times, you get rebuffed and I'm just like, okay, just keep going with it.
I like it. So I just need to do that more. You guys are perfect. I will take, notes.
What a great podcast.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I think that's going to do it for us. I don't have anything else on my
Thanks
sheet.
for having me, guys. This
Yeah.
was really
we want to
fun.
have you back. Yeah. I want to actually go out and be with you, and then we'll just call in Jake.
Oh, yeah. You should do
we should just take this podcast on the road.
podcast on the road. I like
podcast road show.
But for today, ladies and gentlemen, remember somebody is going to win a Vitamix. So all you have to do is email us, podcast@thealternativedaily.com, subject line Vitamix. In the email, please do 2 things. 1, tell us how you intend to use the Vitamix or what you love to make in a Vitamix. And 2, please tell us a topic you would like to hear us discuss on a future podcast or an article you'd like to have us write for the website. Again, that's podcast@thealternativedaily.com. You can also find us online at www.thealternativedaily.com. And we are on social media, so connect with us on Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, and Twitter.
Awesome. Well, and we should also say, if you guys would like to try some coffee, we launched it this weekend. It's so good.
Oh, yeah, we're giving away, we're doing free shipping with all of our Lucy's brew.
We are? I guess we can't, we're going to do it.
Well, we did last week.
If you want free shipping.
Shit.
If you want free shipping.
I just asked
asked if we were doing that.
Yeah, I don't remember that, but
Jake Ship.
yep, that's exactly what it
Well,
is.
it's Danielle's fault now too. She gave it away.
You can do free shipping if you're listening to for our podcast only people. The coupon code is all caps Jake Jake ship SHIP. And you can thank
Not unlike
Megan
Megan for
that
oh shit.
discount. No, that's absolutely awesome. I would like to get
And that's the alternativedaily.com/coffee.
That's it. And also, since it is
I'm wired on it right now.
since
By
it
the
is
way, I can't
Lucy's
stop
brew,
shaking
I
my
need
leg.
to say this. It is the old girl's birthday today.
Yay.
Lucy turns 9
Last
today.
year in the single digits.
She turns 9.
So that makes her 56 in dog years.
What? No.
63?
9 times 7 is 63, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Oh.
Close.
You're not a mathematician.
I was a
it's fine.
communications major.
That's 8 times
That's
7.
fine.
Yeah, so Lucy, I prefer 9. But it's her birthday, and we let her out here. She's, roaming in the bushes looking for lizards to eat. So awesome. Well, thank you guys for joining us. Danielle,
Jake.
thank you for guest hosting with us.
Thank you.
Thanks,
guys.
Danielle.
And Megan, thank you very much. We will
Thanks,
see
Jake.
everybody later.
Bye, everybody.
Peace.
Ugh.